Trip to Georgia is done. Everything is finished. The trip is over. All is complete and well and happy, and the lighting is slightly better from this angle. So, let me tell you about it. It was great. What happened is my mom and I flew to, there she is. Mom and I, that one, flew to Georgia because Jimmy Carter isn't getting any younger. We were like, we should meet him and see a couple friends on the way and visit people, and that's what we did. So we flew into Atlanta, we had lunch with Megan, breakfast with Megan, drove to Savannah, had been up for 36 hours, had dinner with Joe, my uncle, sorry, and then we got a cool hotel room for like 90% off because it's the off season on Tybee. Ate at my favorite restaurant in Savannah, flew the drone around Savannah for the day. I got a haircut, I got new shoes. Then we hung out with Joe and Hannah Laurie, and they told us stories about their growing up years in the 40s, and that was crazy. And that was like the coolest thing. And then we drove to Lumpkin, which is a small town 5 hours away from Savannah, where Mom grew up, and we hung out with great aunt Carolyn. That time I meant to say great aunt. And she's cool. We had couple days at her place, and we got to know some people in Plains, Georgia. Hi, Miss Jan. And got to go to church with Jimmy Carter and hear his Sunday school service, and also visit his home site and read a couple of his books. And it was just a fascinating time, just sort of diving into his life and what that's been about. And then we had to come back to Atlanta today after days in southern Georgia. We got to have dinner with my friend Shada, who I borrowed as a friend from Michelle, who I met at SCAD. I tell people that like Shada is Michelle's Trevor. So anyway, I think it's silly. Shada and I are good friends, and talking to Shada after spending the weekend learning about Jimmy Carter was super fascinating. And I'm really bummed that I didn't get Shada in a video. I meant to do that and I just spaced. Sorry, Shada. But hearing her talk about her mom dealing with the regime change in Iran while her mom was studying engineering, or shortly thereafter, and the repercussions on her family's life because of that, is why her mom is not a huge fan of Jimmy Carter as a person, because all that happened during his presidency, and totally understandable. And so after hearing like the pro Jimmy Carter propaganda all weekend, hearing some of the other side and some of like the real life stories of, you know, people whose lives on a day-to-day level are affected by these high-level presidential decisions that you don't really think about the real life implications of, was totally fascinating and a great way to end the weekend. So thank you, Shada, for providing that context and perspective. What a cool story. And what a like good reminder that like no matter what historical narratives we tell ourselves, like there are people whose lives are individually impacted by the decisions of people who hold offices like that. And you know, how can people like that sleep at night? I don't know how they do it, but it's fascinating to learn about them nonetheless. So that was the theme of this week. Learning and sort of getting a sense for old towns and weird economic happenings in small towns, and catching up with old friends and family. And it was just a really good quality week. Bit of a like step back / away from the normal day-to-day life, like emails I need to reply to, business stuff has fallen behind, all the calls that I had a week ago, like so much stuff I need to follow up on to make sure it happens, but all of that totally worth it for the fact that this week happened. Even if it was a minor like setback or distraction business-wise, you don't get to do these things ever. Like you have to make these opportunities. They don't just happen. And they don't happen often even if you do make them. So it was worth taking the time, don't you think?
Yes.
Pretty awesome. This is the end screen of the video. I have not made an end screen for any of my videos while I've been in Georgia, but that is not a habit I'm going to stay in. I like end screens, so I'm going to make them occasionally. What I say during the end screens of videos is that I make 3 videos a day, in theory, and in practice so far. And that doesn't mean that you have to watch 3 a day, but it does mean that you can if you hit subscribe, or if you just come back to my YouTube channel over and over again, which I don't recommend. That doesn't sound like fun, so just hit subscribe instead. Or don't hit any buttons. But thank you for watching. It means a lot to me that you'd spend a couple minutes of your life listening to me ramble on about mine. I hope you're having a good day. Okay, bye.